Hello everyone. So in this video we will discuss about ECS, how can we set up ECS, how can we deploy our services over ECS, and then how can we set up CI/CD for ECS. So firstly, what ECS do? ECS delivers the easiest way to build, deploy and manage containerized application and scale them on AWS. So let's create it first. Now for your information, in this video we will first set up a basic application with this image. This is hello world image in Node, and then we will set up CI/CD. So basically this image is for this application only, and then I will make changes in the code here, and then we will set up CI/CD. Let's create cluster first. So let's put name as master ops cluster. Here we will use Fargate instead of AWS instances. So Fargate is technology that we can use with ECS or EKS to run containers without having managed servers. So it provides us easy to scale facility using which we can easily scale our applications, and using this it reduce our cost as well, because here we are using whatever we need only. In EC2 what happens is we are using 2 GB of memory or 3 GB of memory, and we are using 4 GB of memory instead. So here we are getting charged for more than we are using. For monitoring and all these things, I'm keeping them default, but yeah, you can use container insight, and then it will send the logs to the CloudWatch, but I'm keeping disabled for now. Let's create it. Okay, cluster is in progress, creation is in progress. So next what we have to do, we have to set up task definition for our application. So basically task definition define what we are going to set up in our container. So here we will provide the image, what image we are going to deploy, what should be the compute resources available for that image, and then we can provide the role for that image, which all permissions it need. Here we will provide port, what is the container port for that, and we can also pass the environment variables here. I'm putting the task definition name as whatever my application is, so it is hello world. Okay, TD is for task definition basically. Here I'm using Fargate as well, keeping these default things like Linux and vCPU1. I can reduce the memory for my application. We can reduce this even more. Task role, we have to use ECS tasks as task execution role. Here I will put it as hello world. This is the container name basically what it create. Here it needs the image URI, so for now I'm using this. For this container port will be 8080. Let's keep everything default. Here we will provide the soft limit and hard limits. This is memory's hard limit, this is memory soft limit. Here I will add my env, that is port here, and I will provide the value 8080. So this application will now run on 8080. So for CloudWatch I'm using this setup for logs. So it will create one cloud log group, which will name as /ECS/hello world td. reason will be US East 1, stream prefix will be ECS, and like create group true. So we can apply health check and other things here as well, which we usually do in the case of Docker and even Kubernetes. So in the Docker, like in the Docker Compose, we can provide health check. So we can do it here as well, but I'm not doing it at the moment. And this is the ephemeral storage, which is just like storage of the container. By default it will be 21, but yeah, we can increase up to 200 GB. If you want to attach the volume, we can attach it here. It will create one EBS and then we can mount it. So basically I'm going to create the dash definition now. Yeah, it's created. Now I have to go to the cluster and then I have to create one service there. So here we can create task as well as service. Task runs only one, means task run only once. If it get failed, then it will not retry it, but service will keep it trying. So this is just like pod and deployment in Kubernetes. Task will be pod and service will be deployment. So inside service as well, task gets created. Here we can select launch type, which is Fargate. Service. Here we have to select the task definition for which we have to create, like for which we have to create this service. So I am using the one which I just created here. Revision will be one, that is the latest one. Later on when we set up CI/CD, it will get updated. It keeps updating whenever code get pushed and it get deployed. Here I have to deploy, I have to provide the service name. So I'm just providing hello world SVC. Replica, for now I'm keeping one. You can increase it as per the requirement. So it would be like, you can keep it 2, 3, whatever needed. So those will be at the time of launch. Here we have deployment update, means deployment options. So I'm keeping rolling update instead of blue green. Service connect and service discovery is there. This is just for the purpose if you have multiple services, like microservice architecture, where you have to expose only one or two or few services, while you have to keep others like internal. So using this functionality, like using service discovery and service connect, you can connect all the service internally. I will discuss it in the new videos, but for now I'm just setting up hello world application. For networking, you have to select the VPC here. Then you have to select this public subnets. For now I'm keeping public subnets only, means you have to select any subnet, like you can select public or private. Here I'm going to create one new security group. So let's put it as hello world ECS SG. SG. You can put any name there. Here I have to select the type of the connection. So I'm just keeping TCP. My application range is 8080, like the port on which it is going to be exposed. So it is 8080, so I'm using it now. So I'm keeping custom, and I have to like I will just allow it from the VPC. So I'm going to open VPC here. So this is the CIDR for which I have to like allow it. It is allowed. So just make sure if you are using public subnet, then keep public IP on. If you are not using public subnets, then keep it off. But yeah, if you are using private subnet, then make sure the NAT gateway is attached to it. Now load balancing, whether we have to do it or not. So if you are using public one, then it will provide one IP address as well. But for the load balancing, we have to create this. Like if uh, load get increased and then like multiple are scaled up, so load balancer will help in that case. If you are using private one, then yeah, like if you have to expose your application, then this is mandatory. So I'm going to create application load balancer here. I'm giving the name as hello world ALB. This is the container. Keep all these default. Like I will try it, means I will create listener 480 port 80. It will create one target group, so I'm providing target group name as TG. Auto scaling. If you have to like enable now, you can enable it now, or we can means update it later as well. So yeah, here we have to provide the minimum number of tasks, here maximum, then like on what basis it should get tracked, like where the target, like if increased or decreased, and steps is like a set of scales, like on the basis of set. So here you can provide any policy name. This is the matrices which are available: CPU utilization, ALB request, memory utilization, and here you can provide target value. And these are the scale out and scale in. So scale out is like after how many seconds it should scale out if load do not gets more than that target value, and this is for scaling. Yeah, sorry, like scale out is if it gets more than 70%, like whatever the target value is, then it will scale out, and if it reduces than that, then it will be scaling. We can turn off scaling as well, but that is not suggested, because if it goes up then and it goes down, then it will not scaling. And let's keep it close for now. Okay, so it's being creating now. You can see like this progress in CloudFormation, because AWS create one CloudFormation template for that. So if you see, these much resources are created. Now let's move forward and set up pipeline till that is this one is creating. Let's go through that. We will set it up later, but yeah, let's go through it. So for that we have to set up CodeBuild and CodePipeline. CodeBuild, basically here what we will do using CodeBuild is we will like set up the, like we will build the Docker image and push it to ECR. While using CodePipeline, we will trigger it. We will trigger the CodeBuild, and we will once CodeBuild push the image to ECR, then using CodePipeline it will deploy the the application over ECS as well. Let's see whether load balancer is created or not. Okay, it is provisioning. Listener is not yet created. Meanwhile it is creating, we can set up CodeBuild. Yeah, this is the source, like from where source code we will fetch. So I'm going to fetch it from GitHub. We can use anyway, so I'm going to connect to GitHub. Okay. It will list all my repositories, so I can search it here, this repository. Here I have to provide which branch should I deploy. So let's keep it master. Here keep managed image. This will be easy to. Here set it as lambda. Choose runtime as a standard. Choose the latest one. Keep this privilege so that you will image will get built with root privileges. You can create one new service role, or if you have existing one, then you can use that one as well. So here you can use build spec file, which will be there inside your code, but here I'm going to provide a new file there. So goes to switch to editor. I set up one script, so I will provide it to you so you can add it. I can put I will put that in file in the description. So this is the build spec file which I set it up. Here I have to update it with the account ID. Here image name. This is the project name. This is the app name. So you can put any. So these are just the variables which we are going to use later while creating the image. So make sure what type of image name you are trying to create. So keep them according to that. Here I have to provide the container name. And that is hello world. So what it will do here is in this in these is build commands. In pre-build, it will just log into ECR and pull the commit hash for the latest commit. In the build, it will build the Docker image and put the name according to this. So repository URI, which is this. So this is for this account only. This is the image name which I am going to create. So make sure this ECR registry, this ECR repository should be available in your AWS account or in the AWS account whichever you are providing here. So my image name would be like this, then /hello world, then colon, then prod hyphen hello world hyphen the commit hash. The commit hash will be this commit hash. This is the latest one. In the post build, it will just put the this artifact which is inside image definition JSON. So it basically stores this inside that file, which will be used for deployment. My bad, I lost all that. Okay, everything is there. Here you can set up the CloudWatch log groups where the logs should get stored of this to code build. So I'm creating one group name / code build / I have to provide the stream name there as well. So let's provide it as and create it. Meanwhile, let's check whether the application is deployed or not. So if you see here, the inside cluster service is up and running, one task is running. So to access this service, you can go to load balancer and you can see this as active. You can come up with this DNS name, but if you try to access it, it will not work. It will keep trying, because the thing is, here you have to go inside security in the load balancer. You have to update the security group. Currently it is allowing 8080 for this, but it should allow port 80 for all traffic. Now if I refresh it, okay, let's check what's the security group for this. So if we go to the service, that is ECS, that is inside this ECS, and then we can go to configuration and networking. So here we will find security group, because we got gateway timeout there, so it is again issue of security group. It looks like both security groups are interconnected. Okay, 057 057, yeah, that's the issue. So load balancer gets attached to the security group of the service as well. So what we can do here is we can revert the changes whatever we made. This is because I don't want to expose it to everything, like the port 80 to everywhere. So whatever I made changes for security group for the load balancer like few minutes back, I reverted all those changes. Now what I will do is, in the security, I will edit it, and first I will create one security group here. that I will put name as hello world ALP HTTP access for LB. This is the default, and here in inbound now I have to go to load balancer, security, edit, hello world ALB, attach it, save changes, and if you now go to it and then try it, yeah, boom, your application is up now. Now let's come back to CodeBuild. Okay, type is required for environment. Where it is? Yeah, I'm facing this issue because that means I by mistake I went to the previous page. Let's refresh the page and fill everything again. Hello world ECS, keep it as GitHub. So once I connected to GitHub using auth, then I don't have to do it again and again. Here again I have to provide branch name. This role is there because it got created earlier. This is the image not exist at the moment, but yeah, I will create it earlier. I mentioned it earlier as well, as I will create it later, sorry. This is the problem with Mac. Here make sure you replace container name. Yeah, so it's created now. Now we will create code pipeline. Parallelly, I will create ECR as well for storing the images. For your production applications or for your organization applications, keep it as private. Here we have to provide the image name, like this complete will be the repository name. So I'm providing it as hello world. Keeping everything default, like I am not scanning whenever it gets pushed, or I'm not enabling KMS encryption. Okay, it is created. Now I will create the pipeline. Hello world pipeline. You can use V2 or V1, but yeah, V2 is latest, so use it for pipeline. It will create new role for pipeline. You can see it. Keep them default. And this is the source provider, so where your source code exists. So I'm using GitHub version 2. You can create one connection name here. So yeah, it's being authorized now. I will install one new app. So here you have to select the organization, and now you have to select whether you have to allow for all repositories or selected repositories. So let me allow for selected repository only. This is just for the security purpose. For selected repository, you can allow it for all repositories as well. Click on connect. It's connected. So if you see, this repository name is there. So now this is pipeline trigger, when the pipeline should get triggered. So like whether you can allow it push, or you can allow on tag, which tags allowed, what, like if tag allowed this or don't allow this. Branch name, so keep it as master. I'm keeping artifact as CodePipeline default. Go to next. Now this is the build provider, what you are using for build. I'm using CodeBuild. Here we have to select the project name. This is for the CodeBuild. Here if you have some variables for the build time, then you can pass them here. Now here we have to select deploy provider, which is our ECS. Here we have to select cluster name, that is master ops. Now we have to select service name, this is this. Now image definition. So this is the file name which we put inside the code build. So if you go back to code build, if you go to build details, keep scrolling, this one, this file. So here we are storing all the details of our container. You can provide timeout as well. By default this is 30 minutes. So everything is done now. You can just click create pipeline. Okay, the pipeline is created. For the first time it will trigger it, but this time for source it will work, but for build it will throw the error. So let's see what error it will throw. Inside pipeline you can check on which state it is currently. Source is done. Now it is in build stage, and you can check here as well. For build stage it should be triggered. It is in progress. You can check the logs here. All right, it throws the error for ECR. So this is because we haven't allowed our ECR to connect with CodeBuild. So what we have to do, we have to go inside the role. This is the role for CodeBuild. So base policies are there only for CodeBuild. Now what we have to do, we have to add permissions for ECR. I'm providing full access for now, but yeah, you can provide write access only. Let's retry the stage and see whether it will work or not. If you see, this is the stage where it get failed earlier. Now, so we missed it. Here we should replace it with image name. So let's replace it. This time it get passed at this stage, but it got failed because of that like image name. So it got failed here. While running build -t, it got failed because that name is invalid. So you can again start pipeline from this failed stage only. Let's see what issue we face this time. So the issues which I'm showing you, these are the basic issues which we do usually. So make sure you are not doing these small mistakes. So if you see, this is the output of our application. Let's check on which port it will get exposed. Okay, if we pass the port, then it will run on that port, otherwise it will run on 5000. So we are passing the port as 8080, so it will run on that same port. Okay, so this time as we update the image name for ECR, so it haven't throw error in this stage and it is building the image. And yeah, like in this, on this URL, whenever you face timeout issue, so it means you are missing something inside the security groups. So what usually happens, we do not allow port 80 to get exposed to the outside world. So like it keep trying, it throws that error. Even if port 80 is exposed, then our application is not exposed to load balancer. So when we are creating the security group for service, so we are creating this because, so means using that we are exposing our service internally to the load balancer. And yes, like that private means public key part, we can get in the inside task, we can get this public IP. I can copy it, I can try to access it, but again, as the service is only exposed internally, then it is not accessible. If I try to expose it to outside world, then it will work, but it will work on 8080 port, as that is the current container port. This is the VPCC idea. If I make it open to everything, now it will work. Okay, so if you see, image get build and push to ECR, so we can check over ECR as well. Okay, so image is pushed. Now you can go back to pipeline, and now it is in deploy stage. Now we can go back to cluster E and C. One task is in pending stage while other one is running. So the new one is in pending stage, that is TD2, and earlier one is in pending, that is TD1. Now we can check logs here. It's being started. Okay, now one task is running only. Okay, it got stopped. This is still in pending. Okay, now it's running. So not this one, because this is the task IP, so we are not using this. I'm using this. So if I refresh it, see, now it's hello world only. So our CI/CD is perfectly working. Now let me push something to this branch, to this master branch, and check once more whether pipeline got triggered automatically or not, or what will happen. So I'm just looking from where I can update that hello world. Not here. It should be here. Yeah. I'm removing world. I'm just keeping hello for now. Okay. So the code is updated here. Now if we go to CodePipeline, pipelines, see, it is in progress now. It is in progress for this commit ID 431F2, which is the latest one, 431F2. If you see, now it's building, then it will deploy. Deploy it is in deploy if you are seeing that is in green, because this one is for the earlier one, not the current one. If you refresh it, this is just now because it just passed few minutes back. Yeah, you can see 1 minute ago. Now if you again go to CodeBuild, then build should be in progress. Once this is done, it will deploy it. So it will be built in 3 minutes and then it will get deployed there. And yeah, let's see how we can destroy it now. So if you want to destroy the ECS service and the components which got created through service, so you can simply go to infrastructure as a code, that is CloudFormation. What you can do is you can simply delete from here, simply delete the stack, and it will delete all the service and load balancer stuff. But for deleting these pipeline, code build and ECR, you have to delete them manually. One issue we usually face is like our task keep deleting and restarting again and again. So that issue you can check, like once you go to load balancer You can go to listener, you can go to target group here. Inside target group, you can see like it will keep draining, health check getting failed, keep draining, failed. So that's due to incorrect port mapping. So this is draining, this is draining because this is the earlier one. But yeah, sometimes what happens, it gets unhealthy, draining, unhealthy, draining. So that is because you are not using your correct container port for service. Because what this target group usually do is it do health check. So it will hit port 8080 of your application, of your container. And if something is there, like if it gets 200 status code, so it will mark it as healthy. Otherwise, it will mark it as unhealthy. You can change your success code as well. You can come inside the target group, health check, edit. You can provide a range of success code. So you can provide that in range 200 to 499. You can't provide for 5xx range. You can update your traffic port here as well. So if you want to like make health check on any other port, then you can set it up here. And here you can provide the health check path as well. So if you see, build is in progress, build is succeeded. If we go to pipeline, deploy is in progress. Now let's go to service and see what's happening there, because it is still in progress from pipeline perspective. Okay. Now you can go to tasks. You can just refresh it. You can any desired status. Okay, so this is running from 2 minutes. Which task definition is this? Okay, so this is the third one. So it means our code is updated. If I do refresh here, so it is hello only. That is the latest code.